Welcome to this brief overview of the Rising Scholars program in Los Rios, specifically the prison ed portion of it. We represent Los Rios's work in prisons. We are part of the Rising Scholars statewide network that serves currently and formerly incarcerated students. Specifically, we do the in-prison work. And so we serve the in facilities or incarcerated students. And if you'd like to learn more about that statewide network, go ahead and Google it and you'll find more information on the state chancellor's website. Right now we have faculty who are teaching in prisons at from each of the 4 Los Rios colleges. And to tell you a little bit more about the program, we've been teaching in prisons since fall of 2016. And there's some cool data here that you can see in this chart of the stuff that we've done. We've taught at Folsom Women's, Men's, Mule Creek, Rio Corrections Facility, and the Youth Detention Facility. And you can see our total enrollments, as well as some of the great work we've done in success rates, tax savings, etc., recidivism reduction. Over here to the left is a picture of one of the CDCR classrooms with the students that were in one of our initial courses that we offered in the prison. Good memories. So what I'd like to talk to you about now is this diagram that we created kind of about our overall structure as a prison ed program. Our overall goal is to produce quality college education within correctional institutions. And specifically in this video, I'm going to focus on CDCR. So the California Department of Corrections as an institution. You'll see in this diagram on the bottom that there are these 4 kind of pillars, and this is what we consider kind of our foundations: dignifying, bringing respect and honor to all human beings, human life; authority and power, understanding the way that that plays out individually in the classroom and programmatically in terms of advocacy for the program; authenticity, honoring people's authentic selves and the process by which they go through to understand and become more of their authentic selves; and the collaborative process by which we do this. You'll hear me say we a lot because we operate as a program more as a collective than individual. So based on this, kind of, we're grounded in these ideas. And as we are grounded in these ideas, you'll notice that CDCR, or the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitations, is the system that we are within here. So this is kind of the bigger box that's on this diagram. And we are there. We are physically there. So we are kind of within that system. We follow many of their norms, and yet we have this tension because they operate from a perspective of punishment and we operate from a perspective of growth and transformation and from a humanistic perspective. So this is one of the many tensions that you'll hear throughout this video series that I talk about. So even though we are in the prison system, we are still a community college. And so we, as a community college program in Los Rios, we concentrate on many things, but 4 of the things that we wanted to highlight is the ways in which that we holistically look at safety, physically, emotionally, and interpersonally, and other ways. The way that we holistically look at students, and when we say self in this diagram, we're talking about the self of the professor or other people who teach or work within our program. And then we also concentrate on support. So safety, students, support, and self in a holistic way are part of the actual work that we do in this program. Now, one of the examples of the way that we have support from the Department of Corrections is we work with amazingly helpful, supportive, and collegial post-secondary educators. You'll notice in this chart that we have their numbers with their email addresses at Folsom Women's, Folsom Men's, Mule Creek State Prison. We have post-secondary college educator points of contact, as well as people on each yard. So no matter where you're teaching, you will have a Department of Correction educator, they're a Department of Corrections employee. You will have them as a primary contact. And I encourage you to meet them, chat with them, take part of their wisdom, advice, consult with them, and contact them anytime that you need some assistance. In addition to that, there's a lot of support within Los Rios. I am your faculty coordinator. Dr. Mari Pashan, who will be on leave in the fall of 22, is the dean of our program. Molly Stafford is our director. We have classified assistant from Ms. Kay, Colleen, and Tracy. And of course, there are a lot of other faculty teaching in the program. You can find their names on group emails, on the Canvas site. You'll see work on the Google Drive. And every Tuesday morning at 9 a.m., we have the professional learning community meetings. The links to those meetings will be available. They'll come to you via email. They'll be available on the Canvas site. In addition to that, we have the District Academic Senate Prep Subcommittee. So we're doing work through the shared governance process. And LRCFT, which is your faculty union, has an MOU. I encourage you to look at and read that MOU. It covers things like academic freedom and safety and compensation for training. And you should be aware of the ways in which your faculty union has worked to ensure that areas that are specific to prison ed that were not covered in your contract have actually been negotiated for you. Please read through that MOU. So this was meant to be a very brief overview of our program, including the central role that aspects of our foundation in dignifying human life, in looking at collaboration, in looking at authority and in power, and there's one that I forgot. Oh, and in honoring authenticity and seeking authenticity. So we've looked at the central role of those as the foundation. We also talked about safety, student support, and the person of the professor. And we use all of these things to build together to provide a quality college education in our face-to-face correctional institutions in the greater Sacramento area. There's questions here that I encourage you to consider, to look at. They'll serve as a review of some of the things that I discussed, and they will also serve to lead us in discussions when the new faculty and I get together to talk through these videos. Thank you.